G'day guys, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. This is Jay here. Now, you know I'm on a chat with Jay, but today it's episode 66 of the original Life Theories, Kangaroos, Koalas, Steve Irwin impersonations over in America, over in England, and Canada's coming. But thank you so much for joining us on episode 66. We've got a very special guest coming on very, very soon. I want to introduce my co-host, the Super Friends. We've got Batman, as I call him, the strength of this group, Cortez Medford over in England. We have the lovely Diana, and I always get it wrong where she's at, but that's okay. She's in America, the foundation of this group, the heart and spirit. And we've also got Sarah from Vancouver. She's coming on very, very soon. But Diana, do you want to introduce our very, very special guest? We're very excited to have and very grateful to have on this show.
Yes. So today, everybody, we have a special guest, Cheryl Murphy. Cheryl Murphy is a psychic medium, author, and podcaster, and she has more than 20 years of experience in metaphysics, and she also does healing intuitive work with animals as well. Very interesting. So we're going to talk a little bit about her work in the spiritual and healing community, and also her perspectives on spirituality, the consciousness and energy shifts on the planet, healing, and more. So Cheryl, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about the work that you do and what got you into that type of work.
Yeah,
a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, first off, thank you everyone for having me on your show. It's so exciting to be here, and thank your audience. It's just been exciting getting to know you and being on your show. How I started my work as an empath, as an intuitive, as a psychic, was really my upbringing. I got to say, I saw spirit in my room at a very early age because my grandmother, my great aunt, all the women in my family studied this, but it was kind of undercover at the time. Like, you wouldn't talk about this back then, but now it's mainstream. So when I saw spirit in my room at a very early age, I kind of knew this is where I was going. I knew because it was a very familiar energy. It was like I knew this soul family that I was connected to. And it kind of kept visiting me as a very young person. It kind of came as a glow in my room. It would move things around like my stuffed animals or my toys. And it was a good feeling energy. It made me laugh. Growing up, my mom would tell me stories about how spirit would visit our home and how we would invite other psychics and mediums into our home that now I remember about. Mm-hmm. So my great aunt, once again, when we would gather as a group around holidays and seances, I found out later my great aunt was hired by the government to find a missing pilot and plane, that they had gone down in the mountains and the government couldn't locate it, but went to her because she was a well-known psychic in her small town in Arkansas, and asked her if she could locate. And she did. She found it, but it was never advertised or publicized. She couldn't talk about it. And then I hear it growing up, and it really helped rooted me in knowing that I have ancestors in this field. So when I speak, I had an angel encounter where they came to me. They asked me, hey, we need you to do this all the time now. We need more. We need you to be our voice. And that's how all this started for me, is they're like, we'll help you. We need you to be out there more and more, because it was not a sense of urgency, but it was a sense of importance of what's happening on our planet, what's coming, getting the word out, the voice out. It is about raising the vibration and really letting all of us know that we're all very, very intuitive and that we all have that capability to connect not only to our loved ones in spirit, but to also help live our lives the way we want to and help us manifest the things we want to bring into this world.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And can I ask quickly one question regarding the psychic mediumship? Did you have it when you were younger? Mm-hmm. Did you actually come in through an proper awakening process? You want to give us a quick rundown on how you got that idea of, I've gone through this spiritual awakening. I've gone through the door, the forbidden doors, as I call them, and go, right, this is my new life. Do you want to give us an idea of when that actually happened so people can understand when they're going through things?
I would say this angel awakening for me happened in my 20s, all right? But I have had a couple of awakenings. I had one back in my teenage years where spirit also came to visit me. And because my brother is very intuitive as well, it's like we would practice together, connecting with spirit, but also when amazing shifts happening in your life and you see your family shifting as well. And it's as if it was a whole family shift that we are all moving the same direction, stepping more into the intuitive field, if you'd have it. But we were all very blessed to receive, such an intense downloads, I guess is now what they call them, but we called them intense messages or insights. I had another awakening when I was very, very young. That's when I was seeing that light coming into my room for a few times. So that was the first one. I have to say, Spirit has always been loving and friendly. Never anything to be nervous about. I know some people are very nervous or they question it because of their own religious background, for example. But I just want to say, I think if anything, it is an ability that I have, but anyone can develop their ability in some way, to some degree, they can develop their psychic and mediumship abilities.
Was there ever a point growing up where you thought to yourself, the stuff that is happening around me, is it strange? Or were you always open to this sort of stuff? Because I know that your upbringing must have played a big part in where you are at now. So it's like, if you didn't have that upbringing, if your family wasn't so open and you didn't have these psychic mediums within your family and your space, do you think that played a big impact in where you are now?
Yeah, for me, it played a huge impact. I grew up with books that are rare, but Edgar Cayce, we grew up with those books around
I
our
love
house.
that
So you
guy.
love Edgar Cayce. We have every one of his books. And so things like that I grew up with, ancient writings that my mother was able to acquire, ancient teachings. Also, Sylvia Browne was popular. She was really one of the more popular celebrity mediums growing up. But for me, it was very natural. There wasn't anything spooky about it. It was more it was more natural than not having it be natural.
Absolutely.
I know many people today, they step into this work, whether through they have a loss in their family or through their curiosity, through maybe, asking their own questions around intuition. But for me, it was natural. It's more natural than not, I have to say. So for me not to talk about this or live in this type of environment where it's really about connecting with other realms, other dimensions, other guides and angels, that to me is just helps me live a more fulfilling life in my own way, more happiness and joyful.
Absolutely. That's amazing. It's beautiful. It really is, because you can tell that you've embraced spirit,
Yeah.
and spirit's shining through you right now. So it's it's
Thank
it's
you.
it's nice to see someone just harness their own power and live in that and walk in that. You can help so many people, but you are helping so many people along your way and along your journey.
I really accredit that to my mother, and once again, my mother, my aunt, because they were very open around this topic, and my brother as well, the one that, my brother closest in age to me, we would practice this. We would get to know spirit. We would do just what everyone else would do. We would have playing cards. We would light candles. We would turn off the lights and ask spirit, to blow out the candle. I mean, fun things. It was never about any fear. It was almost about getting to know that part of yourself that you are connected to something greater.
I'd like to take this time to shout out our supporters at Liberty Bullion, the best gold, silver, and platinum traders in Melbourne, even Australia. If you want to give them a call, their knowledge, their customer service is second to none. Back to the show.
About your psychic mediumship, and Sarah is also a psychic and she was practicing her mediumship as well. So you guys have that in common. It's really cool to meet more people that are interested in that. So I guess in regards to your mediumship sessions, like what would that look like? Like, are you just helping your clients connect with loved ones? Are you getting like psychic downloads, or like what would a typical like session look like? And also any tips for people that are looking to connect more with their loved ones as well?
Right,
on
right.
the
Well,
other
so I
side.
always,
Yeah.
yeah, Diane, I always want to teach people, look, anyone can connect with their loved ones through that power of love, through the heart energy. Anyone can connect. It's really kind of up to us to trust it or to feel it, to sense it, to believe it, to step into that, which is, it's difficult, and it takes practice, no doubt. But in
Mhm.
my mediumship readings, when I work with clients, I bring through their loved ones, and they come to see me for that reason. So I have people that come to see me specifically for connecting with a loved one, or maybe they themselves are going through, they're feeling stuck in their lives, or they're at a crossroads. So I get both. I also get pets that have crossed over that I connect with. But when I bring through a loved one, my goal as a medium is to always, bring their essence through, really connect to their spirituality, connect to the meaning of why they came through. Because it's not just always the facts and figures and the names. It's not just that evidence alone, but it's messages like, I wasn't in pain when I left, or I know you were holding my hand when I crossed over, right? These are messages that we wonder about when our loved ones cross over. We're like, did they know I was with them? Did they know that I'm still holding them close to my heart? These are the messages that are my goal, at least, to bring through, right? So I work for the spirit world. I always say I'm a voice for the spirit world, and I bring through what they ask me to send. I just want to be the best interpreter I can, or to be the clearest channel I can.
Yeah, that's really great, and I really think we need more people
Yeah.
doing that in this world. So out of all the like psychic sessions that you've had, the medium sessions that you've had, what do you think is your most unique or like interesting experience, or something that like
Yeah.
threw you off, or
Yeah.
just threw
Well,
you for a loop?
what's interesting is when you do readings and you have psychic phenomena happen, you have books drop or lights blink in the room when you start having paranormal energy happening when you're doing your readings. And I think that's exciting to do, and I think it's spirit's way of connecting, and I think it's their way of helping the people that they're giving the messages to, that I'm helping believe or understand that, the spirit world, they're with us. If anything, we live in the spirit world. If anything, we're in the spirit world already. You and I,
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
spiritual beings. So for them to, drop a book on the table, which I've had done many times, or I've had the lights flicker, you've had the phone ring
Yeah.
and no one's there. I mean, it's stuff like
Yeah.
that really you can't call a coincidence after a while, right? At least when you come to for a sitting.
I've got one. I've got one for you. I was
Yeah,
thinking
sure.
about what you're just talking about. Um, the big thing with regards to, I guess, a phenomenon in some ways is people who catch onto these things. Okay, we understand it, but it's like someone like, say, John Edward came out and all those kind of things. They come, okay, it's like the flavor of the month. How do you handle people like that? That's a very interesting way to look at things, because you're going to have people come at you, with, I guess, oh, this is what I saw on Charmed, which
Hmm.
if you look at Charmed, it's actually written quite well. But how do you handle that? That's
Hmm.
and obviously, you've got a beautiful energy. You can tell straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Thank you.
How do you handle that with people coming at you with sort of not negativity in some ways,
Yeah.
but I guess questions, or it's like a bit of a fad, if you get where I'm going? Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe sometimes people want proof or they want evidence. And I have to say, it's all about the individual. I worked with a woman whose husband passed. And this was more recently, within this last year, and that's all she wanted was to get a reading and just give her proof after proof after proof. Now, she herself was very spiritual. So, in some way, she was already open. And when you're open without the judgment, so to speak, spirit, I think, can really come through and relay those informations. But when you do kind of step in with that skeptic mind, no problem about being skeptic, or no problem about, comparison, or like you said, the flavor of the month. Nothing wrong with that. We just always have to understand. And it's through setting the intention that I have to really convey to my client that, look, this is going to be different than every reading you've ever had. And really, that's how it should be. Every reading should be different, because we're different at different times in our
Yeah.
life. The mediums you're working with are different. The information is different.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be, you know, information maybe about a future possible event to happen. But yeah, it's okay if people are skeptic. I say, look, that creates more questions, and it's good to have your curiosity going with spirit world. They want to reach as many people as they can. So my goal as a medium is to really just open that door a little bit,
Mhm.
open that possibility a little bit.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's welcome Sarah into the chat. I think I just see Sarah coming up.
Hello, hello, I am here. I was a little bit behind eating my lunch today. I timed putting things in the oven a little bit wrong, so I do apologize for my lateness.
It's lovely to see Sarah.
Yeah, you
Always
too.
great to see you, my dear friend.
As someone who's also a medium, one of my dearest friends and best clients, she's just started opening up her channel. And she has quite a lot of questions for me about the messages that come through. And just to touch on what you said a few minutes ago about how it comes from love. Spirit always comes with love. What is your take on the messages that come through that are pushy, angry, a little bit, how do I word it? Almost like they're trying to get you to do things that you don't necessarily feel comfortable with. Like, what is your take on the energies that you feel that aren't love? What do you think that is? How do you interpret that? And how do you handle that when it comes up, if it comes up for you?
You know, and so first off, and to tag on to, I remember Diana asked me a question on how we can help people connect with their loved ones. The first thing we have to do is really set the intention. If you set the intention to help others or to reach for the highest message possible, if you set the intention to work from a place of love, that's where you're heading. You know, your energy follows thought. So let's just remember the energy follows thought. We've got to really go into what we're doing in our work and our practice, even in our daily life. What is it that we want to create? What is it that we want to connect with? Who do we want to connect with? And have it be for the highest good. Really set that intention that you only want that highest good of love and compassion to come through. And that's a great way to start for anyone. Also, of course, meditation. And also gratitude and being grounded. I mean, we could talk a whole day on all of those are teachings in themselves.
Grounding,
But
I think, is very important. Yeah.
grounding. But anything that's negative. So for someone that asks me, "Hey, Cheryl, you know, I'm hearing some negative thoughts, or I'm writing down, I'm getting messages that aren't the best or that are making me nervous," right? Because that's what happens is people get anxious around the energy and the information. So what I always want to help people understand is it is a practice, mediumship. It is an art. It is about connecting and going deeper. So I would really help them or show them, teach them, explain to them that we have to go deeper in our meditation, we have to go deeper in our altered state, so to speak, to really deepen that connection with spirit. It's like we have to get out of our own way, right? Because there's still some of us in that messaging. And that can maybe seem where anything negative or pushy might come into play. We really have to understand that our conscious mind has to take a break, take a rest, and we really have to step into the imagination, into that right brain, that creative self, and raise that vibration, number one, to connect with spirit. So I just tell them, look, it's probably not your loved one or not a message from spirit.
Yeah.
It would be best if you, took a break, got something to eat, went for a walk, came back to it at a later time or a later date, try it again. That's usually what I would say. Yeah.
Have
Definitely.
you dealt with like a darker entity or like a darker spirit that actually does come through? Or would you say that's more of our own unhealed psyche speaking through the channel? What is your take on dark entities?
Yeah, I love your question, because I do think we have an energy ourselves, right? We have an energy in the room, and we can also be an additive to that energy happening. And if we're not in a good place, then maybe it may seem different. Also, I've done some house clearings, or I've been in some haunted houses before where we have done some clearings. And I got to tell you, the spirits that need help, so to speak, are loving people. I believe they're scaring people. They're scaring the owners, or whoever is running the place. Like I did a bed and breakfast a few years back, but once you clear the energy, they're just asking for help, really. They're asking to be shown the light. They're asking to find their way, so to speak, you know? So dark energies or anything negative, I usually want to say it's probably something that was either left in the room from before, right? Because there could be residual energy, and that could add to that negative feeling that we're getting. So we have to really make sure, is it us? Is it coming to us or coming through us? If it's coming through us, it's probably our own positive or negative energy. If it's coming to us, it's from the outside. We really want to make sure that we know our own energy. Like, what does your energy feel like first before you connect and open that door, open that opportunity up for spirit, for your guides, for your loved ones?
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, it's learning about your own energy.
Yeah. Being able to decipher and distinguish what's yours and what's not. And starting, that's a great starting point. Good point.
Good.
And do you help
Fantastic.
spirits cross over as well? Or and if so, like what is it that you think prevents them from crossing over into light? Is it too many attachments to this world and to maybe what happened in their physical existence, or emotional attachments? Like, what do you think is the biggest barrier to them crossing over?
So I'll just start by saying I do believe souls do cross over. When I work with the clients that I work with, I never feel anyone being stuck, okay? Or I feel our souls do cross over. But having said that, when I talk about a haunted house, that is hundreds of years of energy. And I do, because we were going hundreds of years back in time. We're going back to the bed and breakfast I was mentioning was a building, back in the day, buildings served multi-purposes. They were a hospital, they were horse stables, they were a doctor's office, they were the restaurant, the hotel. So lots of energies came through that property, which I do believe there are aspects, you could say residual energy, I'll call it that, to where they feel maybe, so there's aspects of them where they feel they haven't crossed over. So I do believe most of them is in the light, so to speak, but there's part of them that wanted to come back for some reason, wanted to come back to find their friend or their family. They were curious about this, still this dimension.
Yeah.
If you have it. Yeah. So they just kind of needed a clearing, which we do with love and compassion always, and lots of prayer and meditation. And you do it with the right people. You always want to do this with people that you trust and that you feel are providing some help, and not just doing this to test it, so to speak. But it does help the energies. And I do believe it's a very loving compassion. And once again, since we cleared that bed and breakfast, we've heard from the owner that nothing crazy has happened since. Like, certain rooms people didn't want to rent out before. Now they're renting them out. Or she would hear pots and pans down in the kitchen going off, but they're not happening anymore. So we know that the spirit world, that the energy of the property, which carried all of that memory, that history, is cleared.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. Cheryl,
It's amazing.
do you why do you think consciousness is on the rise? Do you think that has anything to do with spirit? I.e., because I know that we have our own free will as such, but do you think spirit has anything to do with the level of consciousness that's rising right now on this earth? And where do you see us going within the next 5 years as a collective,
Yeah.
spiritually?
I think spirit has everything to do with what's happening right now. And I do think we do have free will. That's why a lot of us will be opening up more to our higher consciousness. A lot of us will be opening up to more of the capabilities and the talents and the gifts that we all have. We'll be able to do more self-healing work, and not giving our power away, or we'll be able to manifest easier rather than thinking that everything takes time. I do believe even maybe you're noticing it now that manifesting is happening quickly, right?
Mine's
Yeah.
happening instantaneously,
That's
and
why you
I'm
have to
not
be
even.
mindful where you focus your energy and your focus and attention. And with some of the, I like to say, darker entities on this planet, some of the things that are being pushed out are very based on fear and lowering your frequency. So I think that's part of this consciousness shift that we're going through, is rising above all that and going within more, and not letting like outside forces dictate our life and basically control our frequency.
I agree. Absolutely. If it's like if we could see more of what's ahead of us rather than what's behind us, we'd all be moving forward or be more open to it. Because it's so much more, it's like a more of a brilliant light, and it's so much more newer light and newer consciousness. And as you guys probably already know, that the children being born right now, or that have been being born in the last several years, they're so much more with it, right? They're more wise. How do these little Buddhas know so much at these younger ages? It's because they're coming in more evolved. They're being born. We're creating at a higher evolvement, a higher vibration.
You're talking about connection to spirit, right? I reckon we are not connected to the earth, right? I reckon they're not. I'll explain that. I reckon the forces to be, if you want to put it that way, are disconnecting us so much from Earth. And there's people, the super friends, which we are, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, whoever we are, we're here to do the work, as you said, to connect us back to Earth. What would you say to someone who was coming out of an awakening process, who had no idea they were going through an awakening process? What is your first few words to them to get them to ground and connect to the earth again? Because I think that's the essence. You talk about the animal spirits. I'm huge into animals. I love chasing bears. Sarah will tell you that. I'll get obsessed with chasing bears. I might have a death wish, but anyway, that's another story. She'll tell you about that. But you got a lot of people who are I'll say the word lost, or coming into this new forbidden world that we are in. Mm-hmm. What is your first few words to them to calm them down and go, right, I'm one of the leaders of this community. And this is how I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm. Well, first off, as you mentioned with animals are so highly intelligent that they are becoming more and more respected, and they are becoming more and more part of the evolution of where we need to be going. I think in some way they can see the future, and they're very open to everything that's available. And we need to step more into surrendering to, that higher light or that higher wisdom. So getting to awakening, though, Jay, it's very hard for people. We have to understand that feeling lost and having those awakenings, it's very difficult for people either to admit, or even to be so glued or stuck in their belief system, which is fine if it's a religious belief system. My goal as a medium or as a spiritual being is to hopefully empower people, and it is through the grounding. So empowering them that it's through the power of love that we even exist at the level that we do. And if they have a child or a parent or a sibling, a spouse that they love, an animal, then they can open that door in some way. And I guess that's where I start. I start with where they already have love somewhere in their life, and build on that.
Yeah, we are the guides as much as we are, and people will attract to who they need to be. And then if someone came to me, I know I've got all these great friends of mine, my family behind me if I ever need help. So it's an absolute honor to have you on the show and joining us, because now we've got another great person coming on board to help us in this, I guess I'll call it, fight against crime, or whatever you want to call it.
Unity consciousness, over separation consciousness. I think that's what it is, working together, collaborating, like going through this process together. I don't think it's any coincidence we're in different parts of the world and we all meet up. Even you found our podcast, we all have synchronicities, and I think we're supposed to meet certain people at certain times to help us evolve, like, collectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And
And
even with the
Cortez.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Cortez, have you got another question, mate? I think
I was just going to say, even with people that aren't where we are at this precise moment in time, we've got to understand that we were all put on light code lockdown in the beginning. So this is why a lot of people can't remember, or they're having a hard time to reawaken to who they genuinely truly are. Do you know what I mean? So we've been tampered with from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like we are just waking up. We're breaking this spell now. This is what's
Programming,
happening.
yep.
The spell is being broken now, and we are all genuinely, truly coming to who we are and our power. So it's like having that compassion for people who aren't where we are at, because we were once there, once upon a time. Do you know what I mean? Why do you think, sorry, Cheryl, why do you think spiritual mediumship's on the rise?
Yeah, spiritual mediumship is on the rise because people are awakening and they are realizing that, hey, why is everything that I'm getting intuitively making sense to me now? Why am I feeling my loved ones close by? How do I do this, number one? But why am I feeling that sensation? I feel like a lot of people are opening up their auras, which are much more open since a few years ago when everyone was staying at home. Now your energy field's opening up. You've had to kind of create your new job or your new way of income. So it's really sparked a lot of curiosity in people. I think there's a lot of mediums and spiritual healers happening right now because there's a need for it. There's a need for it. And it's like the earth is preparing another shift, if we will, that's happening. So there's even more and more light coming in, and we're here to support. Whether you and I work with people individually, or whether we just send that love out into the world, it's happening, right? That nonverbal communication is happening. Just the presence of you being here as a spiritual light is lifting this world. And that's really the purpose. And I believe people are really actually also becoming more brave to asking the questions, right? It used to be that taboo where no one talked about it. Now it's okay. It's on TV, or at least it's a curiosity, right? And that's what we want. We want people to ask questions, find out, because questions lead to more questions, which take us deeper into our own spiritual awareness.
Planting those seeds. As we know, nothing happens in the physical before it takes place in the spiritual. So does that mean, could spirit tell us, or tell you, or tell anyone that's connecting with them, whether we are ahead of the curve or whether we are going backwards? And because we know there's this, I wouldn't say a spiritual war, but I like to call it like a schism. There's a dispute between different energies and frequencies that aren't getting on at the moment, and we all know, like, it can either go one way or the other. So what's your take on that whole situation where we're heading?
So Make America Great Again hats are being banned. So you can be banned for wearing a hat into a restaurant and inciting violence. We've got people running around with machetes, and people are worried about someone wearing a Make America Great hat again. That's what happened with Captain Baxter. A guy by the name of Andrew was banned from entering the building and eating there. Now, what I say is, because everyone knows I'm the #1 Village People fan in Australia, will YMCA be next? This is the Robin Hood Effect, episode 8, and we're talking about, will the YMCA be banned for ridiculous reasons? This song brought happiness. Now, again, am I going to get hit? I'm going to tell you straight up, Village People, am I going to get hit with the YMCA? Oh, you can't sing YMCA because it's Trump's theme. I breathe heavily here. But is it going to affect it because of the way the world is? I don't think it should. And should I have the freedom of speech to sing and do the YMCA without having any repercussions? Oh, we're not going to like him because he likes Trump, and oh, he's a Trump supporter. If I let's play devil's advocate. Say I was in the Village People tribute, okay, the Australian tribute, and I did YMCA, and I didn't like Trump. What would happen? I can guarantee you that I would get hit again. I would say, nah, I would get labeled as a Trump lover. You're this, you're that. People are so petty.
Well, I think a lot of darkness is being shown right now, right? A lot of things are coming to light, or we're seeing chaos open up in this world. And it may feel like it's more now than ever, but really it's the darkness that's opening up to showing the light, to showing us where we need to go. Where does the energy need to go of love and compassion and surrender and forgiveness? I do believe there is no time in spirit, right? So when you are able to view the dimensions in different layers, or when you're able to maybe travel beyond the time and space reality, you can open up and see what's happening or not happening. But I do believe we're ahead of the curve, right? I do believe we're ahead of the curve. We're actually right on time, as they say. There's as much light and darkness in the world, but it's always still in balance. No matter how much darkness we see, we'll always see as much light, if not more. And then it will come to climaxes, or it will peak, and then we'll start. But it hasn't yet, or it may do it in waves, as I mentioned. So there's another wave coming, right? Another shift happening.
Yeah, just one quick question. Again, like you mentioned earlier, you had said that like we are all different. We all tap into the energies differently. Our sessions will be very different as mediums from one medium to another. Just thinking in terms of the type of medium that you are, in case some of our listeners or viewers are curious to get in touch with you after the fact to book a session with you, what type of medium would you say you are? Are you sort of like a Teresa Caputo type that could just walk through a grocery store and be like, your grandmother's with you and she has this message? Or are you the type that needs to sit and get centered, open up the channel, and then see what comes through? Like, what type or style of medium would you say that you are in comparison to all that's out there?
Right. And I call myself an evidential medium, and that means that I bring through information that you can validate or confirm that you would know about your loved ones that have departed. And we use that as evidence to be able to then bring through messages or why they're here. Maybe it's an apology that they want to apologize for in the past, or maybe it's to tell you I love you, whatever that message is. Hopefully it is always for healing. That's the goal. And then as far as walking through the grocery store, I do feel spirit with me, but I have to tell you that comes with practice as well. And it does come with that discernment where I teach my students that, we have to work as mediums, right? And so then we also have to have our own lives when we're not working, and we have to have that understanding and that clear boundary with spirit. So even though I feel them and sense them around, so to speak, at the grocery store, I don't actually do a reading in the grocery store, so to speak. I just notice them. I feel them. I send them love. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for the ones that they're around. So many mothers are around their children in the grocery stores, or so many lost children, so to speak, who are looking for their parents. I just want to end on that by saying, if I ever feel super drawn to connect with someone in the grocery store, I would have to be very delicate how I approached it. And I would always approach it with respect. And I certainly would wait to schedule an appointment with them in a private setting. So it's very rare that I do that type of thing, but we do feel spirit. I have to say it's around us all the time. Animals are around us, as Diana mentioned, living and deceased. You can feel the animals around them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I often feel my cat who passed away about a year or two ago. I feel like a cat jumping on the bed, and I still have 3 cats currently, so I'll look to expect, maybe it was Kevin or maybe it's Lex, but there's no cat there. And so like I always feel like when she is with me, she'll jump up on the bed and it's like you feel her come into the room or you feel her sit down beside you. And it's pretty cool.
That's fantastic. And sometimes, like you said, and that's what we try to tell people too, ask your loved ones or your pets, put their hand on your shoulder or put their hand in your hand. Ask them to come closer, send them love. Tell them that you want to invite them in your space. But isn't it great when your animals are around, just as your beautiful cat, is that you can actually feel them, sense them. You even see an indention in the bed sometimes,
Yep.
but
Oh,
you can
Well,
actually feel the energy on your
yes,
body, like
absolutely.
you said.
That happened when my dad passed away about 3 years ago. Can spirit work miracles, Cheryl? Because the day my dad died, about 3 years ago, my electric hasn't run out, and it hasn't run out since.
Wow. I believe so. Why not?
I kid you not. I have not put electric in the last 3 years, and it was the day my dad passed away. My electric meter, it froze, and it just hasn't run out ever since.
I would ask your dad. I would thank him. I
I have
believe
numerous of times, but I
That's
kid you not.
brilliant.
and he would know that you would get the message too. He would know that you would make
Absolutely.
sense of it. That's
Yes,
what's
I did.
amazing is that you took it to the next step.
Absolutely. It couldn't have been anything else other than that. That was the only bizarre thing that happened that day. Do you know what I mean? And it just happened to be that particular day he passed away. And then we realized that we haven't put electric in, and it just hasn't run out ever since. I couldn't believe it. Still
Incredible.
can't believe it.
Well, your dad is working miracles over
He
there. I'm
is
sure
working
there's
miracles,
more
so I
than
thought.
one.
and
But
All
yeah.
right,
speaking of
Diane, have you?
animals, oh, go ahead.
No,
Okay.
that's what I was saying. Diana got the about the animals.
Yeah, speaking of animals, so I have seen your ads on Facebook
Yeah.
about your work you do with animals. So if you could talk a little bit about that, I'm very curious about your work with animals.
I love animals, and I feel like so as a medium, I connect both with living and departed animals, right? People come to me with their questions about their cats don't get along with each other or they're not feeling well, because I also do medical intuition, like what's wrong with them, or is it okay to bring more animals into my life, or what's best for them as far as food even, or why is their behavior, if it's acting weird, why are they doing that? So, and then with pets that have passed, which is really such heartfelt love coming through. Their animals so much want, just to tell you, a general message I get that I love every time is our pets who have passed really would love us to get another pet. They would love us to continue loving on pets. They would love us because they know how much they fulfilled our hearts, so they are encouraging us to please continue. Don't ever feel like it's when it's over, it's over. They'll be back. Also, I do believe in pets reincarnating, to tell you, like
Mhm.
I feel that sometimes they do reincarnate
Yeah, I
and
think so.
somehow bring themselves back. I know that when my two of my pets passed, they let me know ahead of time that they were passing. One
Mm.
of them let me know 3 days ahead of time, and he came through as this swirly paisley energy, thanking me for being with him, and that he's going to go in 3 days, but it's been great. And then I had another dog tell me just 5 hours before he passed. We were out for our evening walk, and he was having a great night. He's walking, he's skipping, so to speak. He's smelling everything and the grass and the bushes, and he's telling me, "Look, I'm going to be dying tonight, but I just want to tell you that I've had a great time and this has been terrific." And sure enough, five and a
Oh.
half hours later, he laid down and passed by his favorite bush in the yard. But look, these are timelines, as Cortez had mentioned. There, it's almost like when we step into the timelessness of it all, right? When we step into the awareness of it, we realize that there is no time, and that our loved ones they're always going to be with us, and that we're just moving into different forms, so to speak, or we're moving into our more natural form, our original form.
Mhm.
Because the
Well,
Can I
physical
ask?
body, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
The-
You're right.
I
Keep
was just
physical
going to say
body.
the
Yeah.
physical body of us is the last manifestation of us, right? Because our
Yeah.
energy field, yours and mine, is so much more than this, our
Yeah.
soul, our spirit, everything. And we're just coming together in this energy field physical form to be able to express and to love and to feel the beauty that life has. So there is a gift in this lifetime. And I just want to say, I hope everyone feels lucky to have their life. I hope everyone
Every
appreciates
morning.
every day, you know.
So, and what about your
Every,
book there? You want to grab your book there and talk a little bit about
Oh,
your wonderful book that I'll be honest with you. I've been looking down. I've actually ordered it. So there you go.
you did. Oh, thanks. This is such a
I'm
great
looking
book
forward to
because
reading it.
I'm a contributing author in this book. But look, this book comes from mediums all around the world.
Oh, cool.
And this is true life stories about my story is about spirit. I'll tell you about my father's crossing and how I saw spirit everywhere. Even before he passed, they were creating a party. When I walked into the kitchen in the house, they were organizing this beautiful, exciting party about how wonderful it was that he was getting ready to make his transition. And then when he did make his transition and I was with him, they were all there. All those loved ones were there. And that's what my message is that no one dies alone, right? No one dies alone. A lot of these stories are about signs from spirit. They're written by not only mediums, but also like hospice workers who became mediums. There are doctors who are also mediums now, retired law enforcement who are very intuitive, by the way. Law enforcement is very intuitive. I have a wonderful medium friend. She's retired LAPD because she was telling me they always have to assess the situation. They have to anticipate what's going to happen next. So in some ways, she already had her awareness open. But anyway, it's a great book. I'm so glad you bought it. It's so uplifting, by the way, because the messages in it are of healing. So thank you for bringing it to the show tonight. Thanks for mentioning it.
Absolutely. You got to make sure you plug what you do, you know, and that's what a big thing that we do. We like to encourage, and I mean these books need to be out because people need to read all those types of books and have an option to see which one they connect with. But they're all fantastic. But yeah, it's obviously a great achievement to see your words in a book. Yeah,
it is. It's called The Last Breath, and it's available on Amazon. Just to share with your listeners, but it's written
Order a
from
copy.
mediums. Pardon me?
I said order a copy. I was just telling people to order.
It's so uplifting. I've heard from many people they order it as a gift, you know, because either they have a friend that just had a loss or they want to learn more about their own intuition, because there's also tips in here on how to work it for yourself to open up your own energy field more. So that's what I like about it too. There's lots of good things in that book. Thank you.
Well, we might look forward to having a chat afterwards about it.
Yeah.
What's your
Cheryl,
final word?
question. Sorry, Jay, quick question.
No, you're right, mate.
Just before we go off topic, we're talking about reincarnation there, Cheryl. What is your take on reincarnation? Because I've heard so many different theories and hypotheses about reincarnation.
It's so individual.
That's what my take was on it. Do you know what I mean?
It's individual, and I just want to say all of our beliefs and the way we think and feel, they may change, you know, next year or down the road because we'll have more life experiences to work off of. But for now, I do believe in reincarnation. I absolutely believe. I believe when we cross over, our consciousness is so vast and so big that we can't even imagine it with this conscious earth mind that we have. I think it's so much more and so much greater that there could be aspects of me, for example, that come back and reincarnate, even though I'll still be with my mother and grandparents and my ancestors on the other side, because my consciousness is so vast. I can also go off and experience another lifetime and another body, soul, learning lessons, right? Because that's how amazing we are. We are a miracle ourselves, aren't we? I mean, all spiritual, everything is spiritual and everything is a miracle, truly. You can look at it that way, right? Either nothing is a miracle or everything is a miracle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's a great answer, because we are multidimensional beings and we can be in different places all at once at the same time. That's what near-death experiences say. They said they were in different places all at once at the same time. They see them coming from there, them coming from this place. They see the people that are working on them, and they see their parents that were on the way to the hospital. And that's who we truly genuinely are. It's just that we're locked into this body. That's what it is.
What's your going to onto the finish, what's your last word to people? Because we know the world's really crazy at the moment, for use of a better word, and people are. I'll use Brett Michaels from Poison's song "Something to Believe In." There's a lot of messages within a lot of things that we can talk about later. But what's your final message to someone who is really struggling out there and looking for something to believe in and coming to you and saying, Cheryl, this is where I'm at. How can you help me? Excuse me.
Yeah, well, you're definitely here for a reason, number one. And this is a really hard time in this planet. It's very difficult, no doubt about that. But I do believe the fact that they're here, that they're even asking that question, brings the possibility for them to definitely be open to receiving information from higher realms. And that's always been my goal, is to help people open up their intuition and let them know that those hunches that they're getting, that trusting that gut feeling, those little whispers that they hear, that's their intuition talking. I always want to leave people, with gratitude. That's really one way to kind of step into your intuition, is through gratitude. But also know that, even though it's hard when we're really down and out, it's hard to even pray for ourselves sometimes, right? But just to know that there are other people praying for you, just like all of us. I know that we all pray for the planet and for the world, but that's really my goal, is to teach people that energy is everywhere, and it does start with the heart. It starts with the idea that they are a spiritual being.
Absolutely.
Great
Great
advice.
message.
Fantastic. So, mate, this has been a wonderful chat. We're gonna have to get you back on, Cheryl, for in about probably
Thank you.
6 months time. I think that, because I think we're all of the belief that everything changes every second, every minute, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. Sarah, have you got any more last questions? Because I mean, look like you two are the connected ones, but I think you probably have a chat after the show anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I believe you started following me on Instagram today.
I did.
And you know what's great about that? You are my 900th follower. And I had told my audience a few days ago, as soon as I get to 900, I'm going to do a giveaway for a session. And you're the you're the 900.
Oh,
I'm gonna
synchronistic, huh? Again, once again, synchronistic.
Because of you hopping in to my orbit today on Instagram.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna offer out a session. I'm gonna make a post later today about how to enter that giveaway, so that everyone has a chance to win that session. So thank you for opening up that for you, obviously, too. You can enter.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, for the audience.
It's
so
exciting. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Well,
So
things happen for a reason, right? And then
absolutely.
that number 900, the number 9 is a completion number, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we're stepping into something, new beginnings are right around the corner then.
Yeah, and I believe it's a 9 year too in numerology.
Year of the snake. Year of the snake, 9 year. Yeah.
Yeah, year of the
Absolutely.
snake. So,
Year of the snake, Chinese year. Big things are happening, Sarah. Big things are
yeah,
happening. So, quick
death
question,
It's
Cheryl.
coming. It's coming.
Quick question. A shift, this split that is meant to be happening. Um, do you think we are in the midst of this? Because I've had people that are falling out of my life naturally, organically, which is what we like. Do you know what I mean? We don't like things to be forced, or we don't like things to be painful or suffer, but that's how life is sometimes. But this split, do you believe it's going to be something there where it's going to be so noticeable, where we as a collective have no choice but to accept what is going on? There is something that is not right, and we need to sort of look at this as a collective and view the world ships. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen both ways. I think right now it's kind of subtle, like it's an invitation right now where people are being invited to open up, but there will be shifts in the world or in the planet where that's
You're
where our
forced
attention's
to.
going to go, right? It's going to take us somewhere else. So, yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
be more dramatic or more drastic, but it's always going to
absolutely.
end on a high note, or it's always going to end, with the well-beingness in hand. So I hope people are excited about the future. I really do. I hope people are looking forward to understanding more about how they are as co-creators of the universe, understand that they have that power. And that's really going to help us all, like, not only lift the planet, but also be able to heal the planet, or heal ourselves or our pets or our friends, our family, because we're all at different rates, right? We're all at different levels on this
different journeys, and different levels, but we can all help each other. Someone that just woke up can help someone that woke up a while ago, or even someone that hasn't. Like, there's something you can learn from everyone. We're all here on this planet. We have lessons to learn as well, and that's part of the karma with the reincarnation and everything, if you believe in that. So yeah, I think it's just unity, working together, seeing us all as one, a one energy. It's not all this separation that they put out in the world. If we work together, we could really make a positive shift in the world.
What an amazing time to be alive, guys. Really think
I look at it that way. I like to think of it that way. There is a lot of darkness and chaos, but that's part of it. It's balance. You do shadow work, and that helps you do shadow work, to evolve more as well.
I've been doing a lot of shadow work lately. That's how I know this shift is very prevalent. It's here.
Truly.
And we have to put in the work. I don't think, especially once you have sort of, you're aware and you've shifted to a certain level of consciousness. Now it's like you don't get that blind as much as you used to, because you are aware of certain things, you know what I mean? So you have to stay on your shit, excuse my language.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else that's not really aware or not really awakened to how much they should be or could be, do you know what I mean? There's certain things that we have to do because we are aware, and it's just like, that's our job as light workers in this time space reality. I think so. It's man, we've all got our own individual jobs. Like Diana said, we've all been put on this planet for a reason, and coming together, having like-minded conversations like this helps heal the planet, and it helps wake people up. Do you know what I mean? Not like that's our job, but we're here to plant seeds and just guide people through this awakening. That's all. We're just guides and antennas and receivers for spirit. Do you know what I mean? So we're all doing a beautiful job, guys, and we should really be proud of ourselves. Really should.
What we're doing. Cheryl, I just want to let us know where they can find you on the net, everywhere else, your podcasts. Let us know what the go is, so you can so we can put that up at the end of the show. Where else can they find you?
Thank you. Well, my website is mediumcheryl.com. And they can sign up for my newsletter. I happen to have a free quiz that helps you understand more about your own intuition. It's a real easy 10-question quiz about what psychic strengths you may have. That's cool. I love to kind of direct people there. It's free to sign up for that. Also, I do have a weekly healing prayer circle this evening, by the way, at 6:00. I'll be doing my online healing prayer circle where we do a guided meditation. We talk about healing and manifesting. And then, people can reach me on all my social channels on @MediumCheryl. You mentioned my podcast. We're taking a month off. We rested for a month. We're getting ready to start back this week. On Thursdays, it's called Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. And that's, once again, myself and a fellow medium, Kelly Eckhart, where we talk about, once again, all things spiritual and how to motivate and heal and really help people on this path who have all these questions. And they're all good questions, too. So we find that's a great way to reach a lot more people, is by having that weekly broadcast. And you can find out more information, once again, on my website at Medium Cheryl.
Cheryl. Absolutely amazing. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Cheryl Murphy, a wonderful friend of ours and part of the family. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the super friends here. Diana from America. I'm not going to say where she's from because I always get it wrong.
Virginia.
There you go.
You'll get it eventually. He thought I was from Boston. I was like, I don't have a Boston accent.
I'm hopeless. My beautiful friend Sarah over in Canada. I miss you. I'm going to have memories of last year. Thank you for being.
The Bears miss you too.
The Bears miss me. And my brother from another mother, Batman, over in England, Cortez Medford, the great man. He's a. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know what I was going. You know what I might. Go on with. But anyway, Cheryl Murphy, thank you so much for everything you've been.
Thank you for having me again.
Just trying to get that vibration up. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 66 of Live Theories. Jump on YouTube, Spotify. The lovely Diana will give us all the information. Spiritual Needs TV for Cortez. Journey of a Whitefeather for me. Big Soul Healing for Sarah. Trailblazers of the Universe. Cheryl Murphy, if I'm right. Medium. No, I'm not going to get this right. You want to tell us your one? Because I'm going to get it right.
Yeah, mediumcheryl.com. Yeah, that's my website.
Mediumcheryl.com. I've got that written down. There you go. Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been episode 66 of Live Theories. And we look forward to episode 67 coming out very, very soon.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Amazing.